This One Last podcast. Thank you for joining us today. On my left, I got P. Breeze.
What's up?
And I'm Ryan B. Online. We are minus D Easy today. We are saddened by him not being here, but we will see him soon. He just couldn't make it. Nothing's wrong with him. He ain't got the COVID or nothing. So today, what are we gonna do, Paul? We're just gonna talk about some news and some other things that have tickled our fancies, our collective fancies.
Yeah, our usual format.
Yep. If it ain't broke, don't break it. That's my motto.
Well, if you haven't figured out what you're making yet, just keep going.
Yeah, just keep throwing shit at the wall. Well, before we get going, you want to tell the world what we're drinking?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Okay.
Lead it off.
Well, I am drinking Bud Light Platinum Seltzer.
Big spender over here.
Yeah. It was buy one, get one. Because I just love the taste of Bud Light Platinum so much. It's fine. I'm not a huge fan of seltzers, but it's nice to have something that's got a little more kick that is still kind of low calorie and whatnot. And it's, of course, the flavor is citrus. What kind of citrus? Who knows? Just citrus. The vague element of citrus.
Like Fabuloso?
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, it's a fairly accurate flavor profile. Not that I know what the flavor profile of Fabuloso is.
You can taste it.
yeah, I can.
It's thick.
It's in the air. Yeah, it's thick, like the maids who put it down.
Whoa.
I was referring to myself.
Whoa.
I refer to myself as two people.
Yes. We've all seen the videos on Bang Bros.
Yes. Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
No cap. We're gonna do that eventually. We actually have time to do it. We're gonna fucking do it.
We are in the top 2% of the bottom 10%.
Yeah, we're in the 99th percentile.
Yeah, we are the 99%.
We're definitely gonna be there.
Yep.
I'm rocking the Funky Buddha seltzer.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Little seltzer today.
It's not setting the world on fire, but it's nice.
Pinky's out, I see.
Classy as fuck.
What flavor is that, by the way?
Right now, mango guava.
And you calling me fancy?
Oh, because I can identify what fruits I'm using?
Yes. Yours have actual fruit flavors.
I'm not gonna lie, it just kind of tastes a little bit like grapefruit. It's fine. It's fine. Funky Buddha is a good brand. I'm enjoying local.
I'm a big
hashtag
fan.
not sponsored.
Big fan of their maple bacon porter. Yeah, maple bacon porter. Maple bacon coffee porter? I think it's maple bacon coffee porter. It's usually fun to say. But I saw a case of it in the Total Wine the other day. And I was like, maybe. But it's expensive.
That it is. A good brand.
Yeah.
Good footprint on the East Coast.
Yeah. So if you're listening, Funky Buddha,
thank you for getting lost.
We're available. You could have the sound of my sweet velvety voice on your commercials that you don't have, and I'm pretty sure I've never seen you do.
His mouth is available, guys.
Speaking of mouths being available, Paul, did you hear that Warner Brothers is working on a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory prequel?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, because, all that candy, that's why the mouth is available. Sorry to sidetrack you. Were you ready to go into the news, or did you want to continue our banter?
No, news is good.
Okay. So, following the adventures of Wonka before he founded his famous factory, obviously, I don't know how much content there is to be mined there. Were there books written outside of that? I know there was a sequel, The Glass Elevator.
Not to my knowledge. If there was, maybe some short stories.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what you can. I don't know what you want to do with that. Again, you're following a younger guy just walking around enslaving indigenous people.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they already do a couple of those movies?
Several. Well, the funny thing about it is Roald Dahl, very interesting guy, former wartime fighter pilot in the Great War, I think, which is what they called World War One.
Before the sequel.
Yeah, before the sequel. Yes.
Yeah, just like
so it was the prequel.
Just like how A New Hope was just called Star Wars.
Yep. Actually, no, it must have been World War II because he was born in 1916.
Was he? Oh shit.
Yeah.
I thought he was older.
Yeah. But also, a lot of people don't know that he actually had some fairly risque, a little bit more adult content going on. And in one of his other more risque things, he has a character who refers to a male's member as a schnozberry, which paints a brand new picture of that scene in the wallpaper-looking scene in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
They do. I'm not sure what you're expecting, but it's going to taste like exactly what you think it's going to taste like.
That.
It's not.
My question is, how does that's Veruca Salt, isn't it?
Huh?
Who says that? Who says that in there? The snozberries taste like snozberries. Oh no, that was Wonka who says that.
In the movie from the 70s, yes. The way you said it was from Super Troopers, which is that one guy who was in that one show.
Yeah. So yeah, it was Wonka who said the snozberries taste like snozberries. Do you suppose he did a lot?
Snozberries taste like snozberries.
Did you suppose that he did a lot of product testing on that?
Well, we're gonna find out in this prequel.
Makes you wonder about an everlasting gobstopper, doesn't it? Tentative release date of March 17th, 2023. Gonna have plenty of time to work on it.
Yeah.
Now, my other question would be, is it going to be a bit more in the vein of the... Oh, sorry for the visual imagery. A bit more in the vein of, like, the Disney remake with the Johnny Depp? Or is it going to be a little bit more traditional?
Was that Disney?
I think it was.
I don't know. I don't know who's involved in it.
Perhaps I'm wrong.
They've already been making rumor. I know the two names circulating around this were either Tom Holland or Timothy Chalamet, son of a bitch.
Yep.
But I mean, as far as I know, I don't think there's any directors or anything attached to it yet. So I mean, it could really be anything. I mean, simple cash grab.
Well, I mean, undoubtedly, I think that's where most of these things are going these days.
But it's fine. I mean, nobody's asking for this, so whatever. If it's bad, we all know it's gonna be bad. If it's good, it'll be a pleasant surprise. So.
Well, it's directed by Tim Burton, so it may have been WB. Sorry for the dead ass air.
Yeah, it doesn't actually matter where it's from.
Warner Brothers. Yep. Okay. I just assumed Disney because of Johnny Depp, but
no, he's a shill.
Yeah,
he'll work anywhere.
True chains. So, anyways, I'm not particularly excited about that or anything, but it's something. Could be interesting. Could be another cash grab.
I just don't. I mean, I don't care. Like, it's like, what's a good example of this? It's it'd be like having a story of Bruce Wayne as a kid. I don't care about that. I don't need to see another kid walking around with trauma. I just want to see when he's older doing cool stuff.
So, not a big fan of Gotham then?
Gotham wasn't even about him. He was a background character in this story about time displacement.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. That's what that series was. And it's fine. Again, like Dee's a big supporter of it. It's fine for people who don't know anything about comics and you just want to see like a weird ass story play out. Sure, man. Like, I was genuinely interested. And again, hopefully that's what we get with the Batman when it comes out, of just like a cool like Gotham PD like procedural.
I can see that, and
that would be really really cool. Like seeing these like weird ass like between the mafias and these weird characters starting to come up. Or again, even if it's like happening while Batman's there, but it's like the work they're doing when Batman's not around. Yeah. Because obviously, I mean, while he's very active, he's not getting involved in every single crime in Gotham.
It's hard to get super excited about seeing Batman do his thing when he's become the meme. Yep. You know, the goddamn Batman, where he just like everything that he does is just nope. I'm never in any real danger, even though I'm supposed to be because I'm the Batman. But
yeah, like I don't care about a prequel, so I'm good. We can move on.
Fair enough. So speaking of not caring about prequels, are you excited about remakes or re-releases or reboots or I don't know.
I mean, I think technically this is just a continuation.
Okay. Is it? Okay, whatever. We'll move into it. So, Warner Brothers released their plot synopsis for the upcoming Mortal Kombat film. I skipped ahead. So while we're at it, we would like to wish all of our listeners a happy Groundhog Day. Again.
Good movie.
Yes.
Watched today while I was during the marathon. Sorry, spoilers. We're recording on Groundhog Day. a national goddamn holiday.
Spoilers for something that already happened?
But
Nice. So, moving on to the real news. A makeup artist who worked on The Matrix 4 posted a picture of a thank you card from the director and studio to the cast and crew showing the film's title, Matrix Resurrections. Keeping in line with the R titles, the Reloaded, Reanimation, what's the other one?
Revolutions, okay.
Now, I had heard that they're going to be bringing back several of the dead characters from the first movies. Yeah. So, apparently that'll be a theme. Is that going to tie into the digital world? Or do you suppose that's going to be something they're going to do, like, in reality? Or, like, are the machines going to replicate humans in an effort to take them over from the inside? Even though they already own them?
I don't know. Because, again, like, at at the end of the at the end of Revolutions, if I remember correctly, they more or less came to a peace treaty because Neo helped take out Agent Smith, who was wrecking their system.
Yeah.
And he just they just called off the war.
Yeah.
So at that point,
because he killed himself. It was the one that they were trying to stop, and he was like, I'll give my life so that that you stop. He's Jesus.
Yeah.
Cyber Jesus. Sorry. So
CJ is dead. Trinity, most of their crew, Zion's still there, but let's fuck all about that. So I would have to imagine most is going to take place digital. I don't think they're just going to because again, one of the underlying themes of the whole series before I started jumping the shark was more an issue of questioning identity and reality.
Yep.
So if just their consciousnesses, if just their consciousnesses were able to, if just their consciousnesses were able to exist in the Matrix, I mean, they wouldn't realize they were dead.
Yeah.
They would still be alive. They would still have the same brainwaves and memories and patterns.
Yeah.
So,
what is a consciousness? Could you exist in cyberspace alone, etc., etc.? And if you could somehow recreate a body on the outside and download your consciousness into it, would you be the same person?
Yeah. Because I mean, again, already making this movie is already a huge undertaking, and it's going to take. I don't have a whole lot of faith that it's going to be able to pull it off, because it's asking a lot of a series that's been dormant for 15 years.
Yeah. To be honest, I feel like it was dormant after the first movie. They tried with their sequels, but they were not anywhere near as influential. Probably, I would say, not even as good. But it's just. It tried to be a bigger thing than it really was, in my opinion.
Yeah. It believes its own hype.
Yep.
And again, it's that, it's when you create a landmark movie that defines a cinematic generation, how do you follow that up? And they clearly had ideas. The Wachowskis are full of ideas. I mean, for multiple decades now, they've just been coming up with incredible. Pardon me, Jesus.
Yeah.
They've been coming up with incredible ideas, both that worked and didn't work. I know it didn't succeed, but I enjoyed Speed Racer. All right.
I love it.
I support the nanjas. So again, I'm optimistic. I mean, again, they're making strides of getting a lot of the former cast together and doing everything they can. I mean, and they got the original, one of the original directors back, and hopefully it works out. I mean, I definitely don't want another failed movie. I don't want to see the end of the Keanu-sance.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic.
If you are a true Keanu believer, he shall be reborn again. Wow.
Yeah, this is he's already had 2 comebacks. It's crazy.
I would argue. Well, I don't know. He has had a really interesting career. Just because of the fact that, going from, what everybody knows him for as, Johnny Utah and Bill S. Preston Esquire, or, no, Ted Theodore Logan. He's Ted Theodore Logan. And going from that to even, his more serious roles in and of itself was an evolution to begin with. The Walk in the Clouds and things like that. And then he kind of fell off and was reborn in The Matrix. And then he kind of fell off and was reborn as John Wick. Yep. So, he evolved a lot before he even had his resurrection, so to speak. Not to get too sacrilegious. Sacrilegious. But, yeah, he's coming back because he's actually a talented guy. That's the ultimate. And
he's talented, and he's a guy people actually want to see succeed.
Yeah.
He's a genuine, one of the few genuine good dudes in Hollywood.
Yep. I remember reading a thing about his acting and why people seem to like him so much, despite the fact that he has this tendency to be a bit wooden.
Yep.
And one of it was one of the contributing factors that somebody said was we have a compulsion to look at the neutral mask and imprint ourselves on it rather. Where it's if you see a character or anything that has neutral features, you will project your own emotions and things onto it. And he tends to be very understated in his acting. And I think that's maybe a conscious decision on his part, to where like, okay, if I want to play these everyman characters, I need to allow people to imprint themselves on me. So it shows that he does have talent.
Yeah.
But,
Oh no, not that. I'm not denying that.
and again, that's all speculation ultimately. But
But do what he do.
nobody does Keanu like Keanu. So moving on from the silliness to the Matrix and going on to the seriousness of Marvel Spider-Man. So a new Spider-Man photo was released, prompting nearby internet people to go, "Give me photos of Spider-Man set." I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, a photo was leaked from Spider-Man 3 set showing a truck that says Feast. Feast is more known as the food bank that was in Spider-Man, the first PS4 game. Yep. Where he was working there, and it was a front for who? Martin Lee?
Martin Lee, the negative. Mr. Negative.
Yeah, Mr. Negative. I thought that was you. Easter egg villain hint or tease what would be in the future of the movies. Just reading it straight off the doc.
For delivery.
Yeah.
For delivery.
Well, too many villains?
I think it's just more an Easter egg, to be honest. It's something where I think having him, it could be a tease for something, because again, he's gotten very popular because of the game, and he's a more recent villain in the comics, anyways.
Yeah.
And again, it checks a few boxes where it's interesting. He's not overused in media because he's only been in one game.
Yeah.
And minority.
Yep. And very specifically,
diversity. Yeah.
Asian minority. Which that's the market that Disney's been trying to tap into a lot lately.
Well, I mean, American entertainment is trying to tap into. I mean, just
certainly.
again, the top two grossing films of 2020 were two Chinese films.
Yeah.
Almost $900 million each. Best America could do was Bad Boys 4. And I think it ended up with 500 worldwide box office.
Yeah.
600.
But I mean, that we can contribute that more to the poor response to the coronavirus pandemic.
Maybe a little bit. But I mean, they've been creeping up higher and higher. I mean, again, we were like last year we were looking at we were doing a couple different we were doing a video about different movies over the years, and in the top 20 or 50 there were already numerous Chinese films that were in the top 20, top 50 all time.
Yeah.
So they've been creeping up there for a while. I mean, it's a huge market, and again, they're just because they're just they're finally having their their ability to more readily be able to watch movies instead of having to stream them and having to get bootlegs of them. There actually are more cinemas available. There are more ways for them to watch it. And again, Disney is one of the biggest proponents of localizing their movies for China.
That's true.
For just the nicest way I could put that.
Well, yes.
So
what you're saying, Paul, is that they're very stealthy people.
wow. Disney, yes, Disney is very stealthy.
Yes, both of them.
Wow. So yeah, again, he's a good villain, and again, they portrayed it very well in the game. Where he's more of a split person, more of Spider-Man's version of Two-Face.
Yeah.
But not not that fucking Tommy Lee Jones bullshit. The actual tortured character
Jones
of
doing a Jack Nicholson impersonation, doing a Cesar Romero impersonation. It's a fucking Ouroboros of overacting. I'm sorry. An Ouroboros! Sorry. I went away from the microphone.
Your hand went away from the microphone, yes.
I'm a shotgun. All right, I'm not a sniper rifle. I'm a shotgun with extremely good range.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yes, ladies.
So, probably just teaser. Again, there's already 100 actors attached to this movie, whether through confirmation or teases. It's just going to be a crazy-ass movie.
Possibility they may be overrating the pudding a bit.
Possibly. But I think most of it's just going to be more just cameos.
Yeah.
Where there's going to be some moment at some point where we're looking at the multiverse and it's just showing them.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's going to be more of a okay, this is going to be just decut for the nerds. There's in Excalibur, in the Marvel universe, there is I forget what it's called, but it's where Merlin is. It's where the multiverse connects.
Yeah.
There's this tower where only certain people are allowed to get into, and it shows mirrors into the different universes.
Yeah.
So if Spider-Man goes in there, then he can see versions of himself throughout the multiverse. shit like that. Where I think it's going to be more like that, where at some point somehow he's able to see the multiverse and he's able to see the Sam Raimi-verse, Garfield, all of them, all these different things happening in their worlds. I don't know that they'll actually interact with each other.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more just like quick little like, hey guys, I need the three of you to do something over here, and then you guys do something over here. We'll just show it real quick, and that'll be about it. Because it'd be way too hard to try to throw all these characters together and like actually do something.
Yeah.
As cool as it would be, but I don't know that they'll actually be able to do that. So if they can do that while with this multiverse or with this influx of the negative zone. I mean, they could do a lot of ways to introduce a lot of different characters. That could help create Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things they could do. So, but again, if nothing else, it's a nice little Easter egg for a more recent addition to the comics, and again, a big part of a super successful Spider-Man game.
Yeah. Do we know who the villain is for Spider-Man 3?
No, there's no information.
So it very well could be Mr. Negative, and it very well could be something like that. By the way, Otherworld, I think, is the thing you're talking about. Either that or, it says here, base of operations, Merlin's Tower, Avalon, Otherworld, Camelot.
I think it's just Merlin's Tower.
Merlin's
I think
Tower.
that's what it is. Yeah,
So
because I only really saw it in. I remember it specifically when I was reading Earth X or Universe X.
And it could be maybe not to cut you off, that it would be like that, but with Madam Web.
Oh, very well, very well. I mean, I would have no problem them doing Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
like some version of that, whether from the cartoon or from the comics.
Yeah.
Again, I think it'd be a huge leap to go from fighting a guy with drones to trying to save the universe.
Yeah.
Or sorry, to save the multiverse.
Yep.
Especially after Doctor Strange is going to be doing the same thing.
Well, is he going to save it?
Don't know.
It's a multiverse
Again,
of madness.
they could lead into it. So again, where it's super early, again, there's very little information other than these leaks of people being attached to it. So it's just creating a spiral of ideas. And I mean, at this point, I'm just going to simp for him. I have my faith in Feige and Marvel.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely one of those situations where it looks like they know what they're doing because keeping it under wraps is a proper decision. Even like, okay, yeah, we're releasing the information that they're going to be in there, as far as like all these other people, the Tobey Maguires and the Andrew Garfields and Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe and everything, and Jamie Foxx. But they're not giving any information on what they're doing.
Yep.
And so it leaves it open to get that hype train going, to get the hype train all chicka 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 chicka. And I think regardless of what they do, if they play it smart, in my opinion, and just make them cameos or have them extremely small parts of the story, like you said, like I need you to do this over here, I need you to do that over there,
yeah.
Then it won't derail that hype train, and it will allow it to keep on chugging along into whatever they decide to do in the future, because you've opened up possibility for the multiverse, Spider-Verse, whatever, and you have hi Kevin, and you have you please the fans. You brought in an interesting angle to storytelling for even non-fans, because you've already introduced a bit of the multiverse idea. Yeah, it was kind of written off as not being a real thing, but also it's been teased multiple times, and multiverse. So I don't know. I think that yes, I'm on board with you. I'm on the sim train as well.
So let's keep the train going.
Yes.
Your boy, Ryan Coogler.
Same name as me.
Ryan Coogler.
We're brothers, twins.
Just signed him and his production company just signed a 5-year exclusive deal with Disney to create programs. Probably specifically for maybe not specifically for Disney Plus, but again, it's Disney overall. So it could be Disney Plus, could be Hulu, could be whatever. But the first project so far is going to be a drama series based in Wakanda. Mm-hmm. That is literally all that's known about it.
Right now, I'm calling the title Wakanda Vision.
Wow.
I actually did see something, and I thought it was online, and it was like Tales from Wakanda, Hotel Wakanda. It was something like that. It was like Tales from Wakanda. I keep saying it. It's hard to say. Tales from Wakanda. So it wasn't like something incredibly original or new, but at the same time, seemed like an interesting idea. Like, okay, maybe this is just set around, the city and various things that are happening on with the royal family, or Just anything really. Like there's a lot to be mined there. So
Well, I said, and it hasn't even started. But they're still in the. Again, they just announced that they're having a partnership, and just that was the first thing. They'd obviously announced that because it was already kind of assumed they were going to do some kind of Wakanda thing. So I mean, they easily could do a series, between Infinity War and Endgame. They can do a series post. They can do a series after whatever happens and Black Panther's gone. There's a bunch of different ways to go with it. I'm definitely interested. I mean, it's a great world they created there, and they can take it a ton of different ways. And again, even something as simple as just like fighting outsiders. Like a claw-like character, or again, bring a chance to bring in a lot of the weird Black Panther villains that wouldn't necessarily be worth a movie, but would be just interesting to do it with a new take.
Yeah. He never seems to have a whole lot of villains that stick around a lot.
No, most of his stories either use the same few villains. It's based more on his interaction with the world and the Avengers in general. And again, like the weight he carries with being a king and a superhero. How much does he interact with the world? Because he's not something as simple as like Captain America, where he can just go in there and bust heads. He's a sovereign. He can't just like run into Latveria and start punching people.
Fuck yeah!
It's something that the more recent comics, the last 10, 15, 20 years, have done a better job of looking at. But yeah, I'm down, man.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was Worlds of... I don't know why I'm so hung up on this idea of the name, but I thought I saw it earlier. But I think I'm going to go with mine, Wakanda Vision.
Sure.
So, the trailer for Flash Season 7 dropped.
Yeah.
Didn't know that it was still going on.
Yeah, I think it's basically they have to finish off the end of last season because COVID shut them down.
Oh, nice.
It's just there. I have nothing else to say about it. We can move on.
Fair enough.
We got Mr. Luther himself. Jeff Bezos and Amazon announced today, as of this recording, that he'll be stepping down from as CEO of Amazon later this year during the third quarter.
Yep.
That was trending number one. Trending very close behind was Lex Luthor. I think today I came upon the realization that if Superboy is the clone of Kal-El and Luthor, Bezos is the clone of Luthor and Bruce Wayne. Except for that lazy eye. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure where that came from. Maybe a little bit of Ralph Dibny in there.
The Elastic Man. That sounds like more like a name for a certain former president.
I don't know. Insert joke about Bezos' dick pic.
Yeah. From what I understand, it was not like it was basically to focus on some of his other projects.
Yeah, what was his, like Blue Origin or something
Blue
like that?
Blue Origin.
Which
the
sounds
Bezos...
like a weird project based around Superman.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
So it sounds like he's just taking a step back so he can focus more on that and take down his rival Elon Musk.
Yes. I don't think he gives a shit about Elon Musk.
I think he's just bored. He just wants to do something different. I mean,
yeah, I think he wants...
sorry, go ahead.
I think it's at this point he realizes the company's kind of on autopilot. And he's like, well, maybe I can just go over and take some of my philanthropic endeavors and my scientific endeavors and like just spend some time there. See what I can do doing that.
I mean, he's probably just tired of dealing every day with fucking labor disputes.
It's probably wouldn't be. And
the fucking fallout from the news and everything else that, because them constantly either are trying to do union votes or COVID complaints or whatever else. Just fuck, let me just get out of this and fucking deal with space.
Yeah.
Space is a lot easier than deal with this shit.
Well, maybe. I don't think he's afraid of anything difficult.
Oh, not afraid. Just doesn't want to deal with it. I mean, he's still bringing the money in, so yep. I don't need to be there every day to handle it. Y'all take care of that bullshit.
Still trying to save the planet here, guys.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's always easier to have a CEO that isn't the richest man on the planet.
True.
Takes a little bit of the pressure away.
But he's not anymore.
If whatever, it's fluctuating.
Yeah, it is certainly. And well, I don't know how much Elon put into GameStop or anything, or if he did it all, or if he's just poking the bear. But that started to go the other way now.
Of course.
Yep. But Tesla stock is still doing pretty good. Who'd have thunk it?
Turn around, I guess. Good for him.
Well, I mean, whatever. We'll see. It's definitely one of those things where it's like, I don't think Elon is a bad businessman or anything. I just think he takes a lot of risks. But yeah, that's part of his whole deal.
Yep.
He's a spaceman.
He's a gunslinger.
Yeah. Listen, props, respect, but that's not keep him title of richest man in the world for very long.
That's what I'm sure he cares about. I think he just likes being that like eccentric billionaire.
I suppose so.
He just likes being that dude who's like, I'm gonna come up with weird shit. Like that's the only reason he fucking like again, granted, part of it is just for financing, but again, something as silly as a Cybertruck. Like, that's not a thing you'd want to sell. It doesn't make sense.
Well, he knows his market, and a lot of people would see that and just go, ha ha ha, GoldenEye, and then buy it. But also just his background and him being son of a diamond mine millionaire, billionaire, whatever he was, and kind of trying to distance himself from that and all that. I get a lot of that. Like, okay, you want to do things differently. You don't want to be seen as this guy, so I get it. But at the same time, don't encourage some of the dumber stuff that people do.
No, he's he's a troll.
He is.
But speaking of trolls,
yes,
Netflix and MGM, both rushing to develop stories about the GameStop fiasco, saga, whatever you want to call it. So Netflix has already hired the writer for Zero Dark 30 to develop a story for it. And MGM has already optioned the movie rights to The Antisocial Network, which is a book that's still being shopped to publishers about the incident. Shit's not even over yet.
Nope.
And we already have 2 different projects and a book in development.
Yeah. Well, and the thing of it is that like the thing of it is, it's nowhere near as big of a fucking story as people want to think it is. There's literally one guy kind of made the big push for it, and a bunch of people on Reddit were like, all right, well, let's screw these guys over for shorting this stock. And it's like, I get that they like GameStop and everything, and they're all about, okay, let's use their own tools against them and screwing these people over. But at the same time, you're just giving money to a shitty company. Like, GameStop has treated their employees piss poorly and run their financials very badly and treated their customers piss poorly. And you're giving them billions of dollars. This is not a statement. It's a nothing statement.
Like
it's not about the money. Like, no, obviously it's not about the money, but it's not about affecting change either. I don't know. People who complain about not being able to make money in the stock market drove up the price of a stock that they wanted to. Okay, so you clearly can make money in the stock market, but the only way you want to do it is out of spite. There's a nothing point.
I mean, that's one of the most American things you could do.
I suppose so. If that's the way you want to use your freedom, I guess that's the way you can do it.
I mean, these are also people who live on Reddit, so
Oh.
that's the elephant graveyard from Lion King.
We don't go there. Everything the light touches, Simba. What about that dark place? That's Reddit. We don't go there.
I think I'd rather go to
that place is trash. That place is Taka.
I think I'd rather go to I'd rather go to 4chan at this point.
Yeah. I don't know what entertainment there is to be mined from that, but they're gonna try.
Oh yeah, they will. And unfortunately, like at least the one from Netflix is going to be more of like a drama or like biopic. Like at least like the other one might be more of like a documentary style. Which that again, I wouldn't necessarily be. I'm not saying I'd be interested, but I think is a better approach to do it than as opposed to like dramatizing it.
I suppose really the ultimate question is it pronounced biopic or biopic?
I don't feel comfortable saying biopic.
Biopic.
It doesn't sound right. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Like I know biopic isn't the exact pronunciation. like you don't say biography.
Biography.
But also biopic just sounds like an eye exam. So I'm gonna go with biopic.
Biopic. You pronounce GIF or GIF? Sorry, I didn't mean to make such a controversial statement. Why would I say something so controversial yet so brave?
Around normies, I say GIF.
Yeah.
Around internet people, I say GIF just to piss them off.
Yes. I always say GIF. I can't bring myself to say GIF.
Listen, it's good peanut butter. Fuck it. Yeah. I'll support them. Hashtag not sponsored.
Peter Pan guy. You know why? Because I never land. Is that my jokes?
But
nice.
All right. Well, so, yeah, speaking of things that never quite hit. So here's a sequel we probably don't need.
Sorry, I was reading several. The thing is, I'm reading off the doc, and I wasn't sure which way he was going, and there's some stuff on there that's
Yeah. I had to bounce around to kind of make the story flow a little better. So we got Cloverfield back in, I think, 2008, 2006, something like that. Then we got 10 Cloverfield Lane. Enjoyed the fuck out of that movie. We got the Cloverfield Paradox.
Yep, it was something.
You can just skip that one.
It's got Chris O'Dowd playing with his own arm. His own severed arm.
It had its moments, but it went too much. Just went too far.
It didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
It was like at some points very like horrific and scary, and then at other points just goofy and dumb.
Yeah,
and
like it wanted to be body horror. It wanted to be fun. It wanted to be Black Mirror and Human Centipede.
Yeah.
And a Marvel movie, while still like being like somehow the thread that ties in the other Cloverfield movies together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it just doesn't really, it just didn't work. I mean, that's pretty universal. Like, I don't think anybody was really on board with Cloverfield Paradox. I heard very few positive reviews.
I'm definitely not as negative about it as others, but I definitely see the flaws.
Yeah. I just consider it a miss. It's not the worst thing. I'm not mad that I watched it.
Yeah.
But it by no means was a great movie.
It wasn't what they thought it was going to be.
But that being said,
that's why they took the damn field.
J.J. Abrams still has money, so they're making a Cloverfield sequel. It will not be found footage style.
Good.
It will be a proper sequel. No clue as to at what point it's being filmed, whether it's taking place, whether it's going to be right after the initial incident or in current times. You know, whatever, 12 years, 13 years after the incident. So Matt Reeves is not coming back. Joe Barton.
Too busy with the Batman.
Joe Barton will be. Well, funny you say that. Joe Barton was brought in to direct it. I'm sorry, to do the screenplay, and he's going to be the showrunner for the Batman series for HBO Max. So they have ties there at least.
So is it going to follow the Batman, or is it going to be something else?
No, the Batman spinoff is, again, what we're talking about. It's the Gotham procedural, a proper Gotham procedural. Like, it's gonna, like, it's been mixed. Like, it's very little information still out there. But remember, the rumors I'm hearing about the Batman spinoff, that's why it's being called a spinoff, is that it's gonna be more based on the GCPD. Okay. So again, that's why I'm more excited about that than I am, what Gotham turned out to be. So again, it's like they basically just announced it. Like, they just announced it. This guy's a screenwriter. That's how early it is. There's barely pen to paper at this point. Yeah, I know it's all digitally written, but I'm just saying it's just a phrase.
E-pen to screen.
Phrasing.
Listen, I've got an S Pen. Here we go. Here you go. I'm sure the people can hear that.
I mean, it's Bad Robots. So I guarantee they're all using iPads and Apple everything. But
so they had to buy their special pen.
So Abrams is not directing it; he's just producing it. So still no word on director or cast or theory or anything. Knowing how Bad Robot things go, it'll have some interesting moments, some cool ideas. It'll look neat once you get past the lens flares, but it'll probably miss somewhere. It'll probably miss towards the middle and end. Optimistic. I mean, I'm always down for another monster movie.
Yeah, if it's done well. Even the original Cloverfield kind of struggled with that, to be perfectly honest with you. But that may be largely in part to the fact that it was found footage and it was played off as, it's just these amateur people walking around, not that they're amateurs at being people, it's just they were not professional actors, even though they were.
I mean, at least one of them was an amateur person. Let's just be honest about it.
Fair enough. But there's people who were just regular people walking around, so all the dialogue is very like just tongue in cheek, but also trying very hard to sell emotions. Yeah. Like
Plus, too, it was one of the first like movies from J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Where he's like the main force behind it. So I mean, the budget wasn't huge. So I mean, that definitely helped offset. So like when they did do monster footage, it was very limited because they couldn't afford like a whole movie of just a fucking monster running around the city blowing shit up.
Yeah.
So they had to do shit off camera, and again, it had its moments. Still can't get past that girl walking off the rebar, but I digress.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. 10 Cloverfield Lane was a better movie.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
And that is largely in part due to A, a better premise, B, a better performance from John Goodman and what's her name?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
Yes. Lucy McLean. And even the other guy wasn't half bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what he's doing. Who knows? Might see it on streaming or whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the movies for it, but depends. They might put out a trailer and I may go, well, gosh dang it, that looks like the best dang movie ever. But they did that with the first Cloverfield too. So it's like, wow, a giant statue liverhead just fell in the middle of the street. That's crazy. What's this all about? Oh, it's about that.
I'll be honest. My problem with the movie was just the choices they made.
Yep.
Like, y'all making dumb fucking choices.
Yep.
Like, I get you. Like, I get that. Like, it was a monster movie that turned into a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to have your characters make all the horror film mistakes. It was just dumb. Like, they're going to places they shouldn't be going. Like, again, like, that girl has a fucking 2-inch rebar pipe through her torso.
Yeah.
And she's just walking it off afterwards. Like, they didn't wrap that shit up. She's just walking around. Like, your guts is falling out.
Yeah.
Bang bros.
Nice. It's a new way of getting up in them guts. And then the really crazy part where she's infected or whatever, and she pops. Really weird.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
The popping was funny.
Yeah, it was.
Welp.
Speaking of popping,
That's uncomfortable.
still one more. Looking at the document, it's just like, where do we go? Where do we go now? Where do we go now? Release of the Snyder-cut?
That's the finale.
Okay.
That's why it's at the end.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
It's a segue into it. Megan Good. Megan Good, who plays a lot of things.
Yes.
This in particular is about her. She plays the super powered version of Darla in Shazam. Shazam!
The role of the girl of my dreams, boo.
So they announced a while ago they're doing a sequel to Shazam. I didn't realize until I saw this article it's going to be called Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Awesome.
All right.
Great title. Is this going to happen before Black Adam?
I'm confident Black Adam will never happen.
You're probably right. It exists just as a film for The Rock to say he's going to be in.
Yeah. It's been doing that since... How long has it been? It was 2012?
Something like that, yeah.
He was one of the first characters announced in the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
Right after Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
And then nothing. And it's not like the dude isn't working. You can fit it in somewhere, but guys, you have money.
Yep.
And it doesn't make sense that it's coming out. His movie is supposed to come out 3 years after the first Shazam movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever at that point. So she announced it. She let it go in an interview that they're hoping in May they start shooting. I didn't realize they were that close. They're starting already.
Yeah.
Because the release date isn't even until June 2023. So granted, I know a lot of these movies have a lot of post to do, but that's as long as they can get it made. I'm sure they're starting early just because they know they're gonna have to have a lot of stops.
Yeah.
As soon as there's an outbreak of COVID somewhere, they have to fucking shut it down again. I enjoyed the fuck out of the first one.
Yep, it was a good movie.
I wasn't as hardcore as DeLacy was about it. It's still in my top 3 DCEU films.
Yep. Just beat out by Wonder Woman 84.
I'm just saying, where's her hashtag Me Too? All right, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing y'all. I'm not hearing equality anymore. But don't cancel me. I'm down. I have no idea what it's about. I don't think they've said anything about who's involved in it. They haven't even confirmed what actors are in there specifically. She said they start shooting. I'm going to assume the ones who played the superpowers are back and the kids. But no idea who the villain's going to be, who else is going to be in there.
Yeah. Mr. Mind is who they set up. And was it the 9 Realms and all that or whatever they call them?
Something like that, yeah. I forget the...
I think 9 Realms is actually Thor.
Yeah.
It was like the 7 magic lands or something like that.
Probably. Yeah, it's something silly. It's because they had to bring something.
But Mr. Mind is a strange character, anyways. Having looked him up after the cameo sequence and everything, be like, it's a talking caterpillar who also is apparently like this crazy powerful magician or something.
Yeah, it's one of the problems of making a movie based on a character from the 30s.
Yeah.
He has a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
It's just a character that spent most of his existence in the shadow of Superman and Marvel's Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Despite being really ultimately nothing like them, other than just being extremely powerful. Like stories completely different, characteristics are completely different. Like even the enemies he faces are significantly weirder. Like but just because he is that sort of uber powerful, invincible God child, he's just lumped in with the two of them, and obviously the name thing, but I don't know. Long as the little girl who plays the little girl Darla is back, she was adorable.
Yes, she was.
She was the most hilarious thing about the movie.
Oh yeah, well,
sister.
Yeah, like
such a sweetie.
I do remember one of the reasons they say that they're rushing production is because obviously the kids are getting older.
Yeah,
it's gonna be pretty quick, and then be a bunch of fucking
Sylvia's know how to make
adults.
a movie.
But I'm down again. Enjoyed the fuck out of the first one. Should be good.
Yeah.
A little bit of bad news, real quick. Dustin Diamond it was announced that he passed away Monday the 1st at the age of 44 from cancer. He was diagnosed just last month, stage 4 small cell carcinoma.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that really. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of information available to it. I mean, other than just that, he thankfully it was very quick, so he wasn't in a lot of pain for a long time. Unlike this, unlike obviously what happened with Chadwick Boseman, and I mean, obviously millions of other people around the world, who deal with cancer, numerous times, or again, very, very, very painful ones, but.
And it's kind of a stark reminder that despite what many of the dumbass conservative posts about how COVID is a big killer, it killed off cancer, it killed off... No, it's still a fucking horrible disease that is killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry. Tangent.
No worries. So yeah, I mean, obviously, he's had a very colorful, checkered past. Started with we're growing up where we're used to seeing him as Screech on Saved by the Bell. Spent a number of years living off that, and then trying to play it down.
Yep.
Went through years of drug issues and arrests, and numerous failed attempts to regain some celebrity with different reality shows. And I think at one point he was boxing somebody. Like he was, I forget who the hell he was boxing, but it was. I mean, this is years before this whole like Logan Paul like YouTube bullshit, where like these YouTube celebrities are boxing people. Rip Nate Robinson. And I mean, again, dude's only 40. I mean, dude's only 44. I mean, I hate to see. I mean, cancer is just a hell of a way to go.
Yep.
I mean, it seemed like for the most part he had his life turned around, and just obviously another sign that it really could hit anybody. The only thing that there was a little bit of cautionary tale was that I'm not sure how long for, but at some point for a little while he was ignoring a lump that he found on the back of his neck. Because he was worried about going to the hospital, and the tabloids getting a hold of it and making a big deal out of it. And unfortunately, he got to a point finally where his girlfriend talked him into going, and they found out. So again, I don't know if it would have been treatable if he went in when he first noticed it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how young, old, rich, poor, famous, infamous, normal. It can hit anybody.
Yep. Time is the only thing that you can only spend but never make more of. Also, a bit of a cautionary tale about getting that bag. I did, like you said, he was living off of the Screech persona. Then he tried to make himself a bit more serious, and he found it very difficult. So careful what you're putting. And it's not to say he shouldn't have,
Yeah.
but careful what you're doing with your life.
And it's weird timing too, because it's right after the Saved by the Bell reboot started.
Yeah.
Just weird. I don't recall. I don't think he was involved in it because I think because of his past issues, I don't think they got him involved. But shit, man, it's always weird when you see somebody who's again he's 8 years older than us.
Yeah.
Cancer.
He old as fuck. Oh well, cancer don't matter age, man. Like there are children who die of cancer.
Of course, but again, it's one of those things that just fuck.
So on a lighter note, Michelle Pfeiffer, everybody's favorite, timeless beauty, said she would definitely come back to play Catwoman if Warner Bros. Asked her. So have you heard the kicking around about the I don't know if it's actually multiversal implications, but Warner Brothers DC announcing that their one true Batman was Michael Keaton?
No, I've never heard that.
Okay.
Because I figure at this point, nothing is the one true anything, because they're going with the Elseworlds mentality.
Yeah. Well, it was just kind of I don't even know how serious it was, but like they basically kind of said that Keaton is their Batman and whatever. When we're talking about Spider-Man earlier and the implications of the Spider-Verse, is there any home for a Batverse, or is that just ridiculous? I mean, Batman doesn't lend himself to that sort of thing.
Normally he doesn't know. I mean, again, because they've oversaturated the market with Batman stories. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, one of the biggest running stories right now is is Metal.
Yeah.
Where I mean, we're dealing with the Joker with the Batman who laughs and a bunch of other crazy shit.
But those were all like specific multiverse, like made to be. What if Batman was Cyborg? What if Batman was Flash? What if Batman was Superman? What if Batman, Doomsday? What if Batman was somehow Wonder Woman? What if Batman was the Green Lantern, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes and no, but the Batman who laughs is directly interacted with he is directly interacted with the base or with Earth One, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Which the pretentiousness of calling it Earth One. At least Marvel says Earth 616.
Yeah.
Sorry, tangent.
Is it even Earth 1 though? I thought it was Earth 2 became Earth 1 or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure it's changed recently.
Yeah.
It's either Earth 1 or Earth Prime.
Yeah.
And then they base everything off. It's the Earth-centric model of the universe, the multiverse. But I mean, over the last 20 years, especially, they've had more and more interactions with the multiverse. So Batman has faced himself from different universes. It's always kind of interesting, but again, like, while it's fun to see Batman interacting with these like huge, like cosmic or like universe scale threats, he's just better on a small scale.
Yeah.
He's just meant for that more. He's meant for more close combat, small things. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still love the reboot of JLA in the '90s, where he takes down the White Martians by himself, basically.
Yeah.
Like that was fucking great. But if you do that all the time, it loses its impact, which they've done.
Well, and I think there are two different Batmen. There's Batman, and there's the Batman, or more specifically, the goddamn Batman.
True.
Like there is Batman, who's an interesting, gritty, crime-fighting, guy with a past, vigilante, and then there is superhero who's not technically a superhero, Batman. Like,
he is technically a meta now.
Yes. Canonically.
Yeah. It could be, but again, like especially with a character who, confusedly works alone while having an army of children. Like the Bat family at this point is bigger than the Justice League.
Yeah.
He has like 4 Robin. Well, he's like, I guess technically only 2 Robins. A Red Hood.
Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin.
Then you can count Spoiler, Huntress, yeah. Batwoman, Batgirl. Like at one point, like it was like especially like during the Batman Superman comic,
Batwomen,
when they were taking down Luthor, it was like he had a whole goddamn army coming, like attacking the White House.
The Black Batman.
Huh? Oh, yeah, he's more recent. I forget who that is. Batwing.
Yeah, Batwing. Yep.
Batwing. Yeah, it's insane how many there are. Like, and they just keep adding more, but then they keep keeping them, which is weird. At least for a while, they were changing Robins and they were just moving on.
Yep.
Like, now they're just keeping him.
Batman Incorporated. Yeah. Well, isn't fucking Damian like grown up now too?
I haven't read the comics in a while.
All right.
I mean, I'm still enjoying the movies and shows, so I haven't actually seen him grow up yet. But sure, man, why not? Let's make Batman's kid an adult.
Yeah, I think.
While he stays the same age.
I think either Damian is Batman temporarily, or I know that they had Dick be Batman for a while when he was Omega beamed away into the past and came back and whatever. The Batman, the goddamn Batman. But I think now Damian was under the cowl for a little while. By the way, my favorite interpretation of Damian, I think it was Damian, was in the Poison Ivy cartoon. Or not, the Harley Quinn cartoon, where he's just like some kid. He's like riding around a Segway and like playing around and acting all goofy and serious at the same time. Ron Funches as King Shark is wonderful.
Yes, he is.
Yes. I love that scene where I don't even remember what the thing was when I think it was when Joker was revealing himself at the tower and whatever, and it's like he's like who you'll never guess who it is, and Clayface goes Lady Gaga, and King Shark goes Beyonce. It's like, that's doing great. You're doing great.
You're doing God's work. You're doing God's work.
Great. That is. I never knew I needed that. I never knew I needed a comical, funny, like heartwarming Harley Quinn series. Like, but it just absolutely hits many marks. So, P Breezy, the easy, the freezy, the freezy. Don't know if you've heard, but there is a little bit of development on an upcoming. I don't know what to call it anymore. To be honest with you, it's
what you're referring to the most important cinematic accomplishment of the last 3 years. Nothing is more important from the last 3 years than this piece, this masterpiece, this accomplishment of cinema.
The History of Cursing featuring Nicolas Cage.
While it's fun, I'm still not convinced he knows it's a comedy.
That's why it's a masterpiece. So what, pray tell, could you possibly be talking about?
There's only one thing we could be talking about. Mm-hmm. And you know what it is.
Could you be referring to the most choice cut of the most choice movie of...
Grade A.
Grade A.
Prime. If we were in Japan, it'd be grade SS.
SS, yes. That's how good my Chocobo was. The Snyder-cut.
Yes, we finally have a delivery date.
Yes.
For this masterpiece.
This baby is coming
that will
out.
Fix all the problems for the Detective Comics extended universe. So mark your calendars. Get your Gatorades and your Aspens ready.
Bold of you to think that I don't already have my calendar marked.
It's coming out March 18th. Yes.
Point.
The day after St. Paddy's Day on a Thursday. Prime real estate for the greatest achievement by any director. Listen, I know there's a lot of talk about the accomplishments of Christopher Nolan and James Cameron. Pussies. Get that bullshit out of here. A boat? I can film on a boat. Fuck Titanic.
Yeah.
You
can film on green screen. Green screen is badass.
Green, blue, I don't give a fuck. I'll just film on some shit. The auteur, that is Zack Snyder. Zack Ulysses Snyder is finally bringing us what everybody's waiting for. A nice jaunt through the DC universe. A brisk 4-hour film coming to us Thursday morning, the morning of the 18th in March.
Are you sure we won't be coming to it?
Oh, we'll be coming. I'm excited. I know you're excited.
Thrilled.
Man, wouldn't it be, if you could think about one mistake in your life, and you could just have the chance to 3 years later, a company would give you $40 million to fix it, and then you'd be declared a genius? Because everything that's going to be in this movie, he clearly planned before the release of Justice League. there'll be no retcons. There'll be no adjustments based on viewer feedback. It's gonna be exactly what we wanted from the very beginning. I have no worries about that.
That's why it's the Snyder-cut and not the fan cut. Or
yeah, it's why it's Snyder-cut, not the 2020 cut.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that has deeper meaning now. He clearly planned all of this.
If a company gave me $40 million to fix all my mistakes, I would take the $40 million and leave.
You're not far off. So yeah, all the problems from Justice League are fixed now. It's gonna be great. They're finally gonna smooth out Cavill's face.
I thought it was a little bit too smooth, to be honest with you.
They're gonna add in more chest hair.
Nice. Yeah. I don't think they have enough the rendering power for that.
I do love how Cavill is like the first like hairy chested Superman because he's like one of the few hairy chested superheroes.
Yeah.
Despite being the Blue Boy Scout, it's just weird. It's been weird. I love it. Yeah. It's hilarious. I appreciate it because it's a weird little detail he has.
Well, in today's world, I would say having a hairy chest makes you a bit more earnest and less of a type of fella who's really overly grooming and concerned with the looks. It's just like, yep, got chest hair. What about it? What about it?
So I mean, obviously, over the last few months, they've confirmed, extended scenes that were cut before. In the trailers, they've been showing, updated views of Darkseid's pre-Darkseid form and updates to Steppenwolf and other characters. A little bit more of an introduction for Flash. Spikes on spikes on spikes. And showing some scenes with Martian Manhunter, which I'm confused as to why he wasn't part of the fight, but I digress.
I feel like he would because it would have over too soon. You have a better version of Superman.
And most importantly, the one thing we were missing that we've been missing this entire process: Jared Leto's Joker. We're all excited for it. Us here at This One Last Podcast can't wait for it. I'm going to take that day off so I can watch it 3 times. Because obviously I'm going to need time to recover each time because it'd be so exhilarating. Oh yeah, I'll have to shower in between each time. I might watch it one time in the shower while I'm crying.
Damn.
Remember the scene from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? It's gonna be one of those. So they also released a synopsis of the film. Not a lot of it's different, except for a little bit at the end, but I'll read through it anyways as well as I can. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is what they're calling it, determined to ensure Superman's ultimate sacrifice was not in vain, Bruce Wayne aligns forces with Diana Prince with plans to recruit a team of metahumans to protect the world from an approaching threat of catastrophic proportions. The task proves more difficult than Bruce imagined, as each of the recruits must face the demons of their own past to transcend that which has been held from them. That which has been held back, allowing them to come together, finally forming an unprecedented league of heroes. Now united, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash may be too late to save the planet from Steppenwolf, Desaad, and Darkseid, and their dreadful intentions. Also throwing in Desaad in there.
I mean, if you're bringing in Darkseid, I'm curious as to why they would bring in, Steppenwolf before Desaad if they're bringing in Darkseid.
I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, we're okay. Now we're done with the hyperbole and parody. Steppenwolf was always a poor choice.
Absolutely,
he's a nothing character.
He's an afterthought.
Yeah,
they're trying to make him more significant than he is, and the issue with it is that I think honestly it was conceived with Darkseid, and then they realized, oh wait, Darkseid is supposed to be a bigger problem, a bigger threat, and then they were like, well, what can we do? We've already written this script out, and Well, you've got this secondary character, this minor antagonist, Steppenwolf. We can treat him like, he's this really sort of like how Dragon Ball Z treated Raditz, where it's like, oh, he's he's this badass threat until they end him, and then it's like, oh, you think I'm the bad guy, or you think I'm bad? Oh no, wait until these other 2 Saiyans come up. Similar choice. But I feel like Dragon Ball Z did it intentionally, whereas these guys did it as an afterthought.
Very haphazardly.
Yeah.
I understand why they did it because I feel like I guess it's more impressive that these collection of heroes are having trouble against one villain.
Yeah.
And Apocalypse, it's because really, I mean, historically, it's Apocalypse, Granny Goodness, and the female Furies.
Yes.
That's really all there are. I mean, unless he wants to send in, his son, who is, kind of always fighting him anyways.
Yeah.
But those are the only ones that really make any sense to use. And honestly, they really should have used the female Furies. Mm-hmm. But, because again, those would have been more than enough to take care of the Justice League.
And you can bring in, Barda and Scott Free and
yeah, it would have opened the door. It would have opened the door for a lot more stuff.
Yep.
Whereas Steppenwolf is a fucking doggy door. Like there's nothing there.
Nope.
Like it's just he's an empty vessel, but he literally was an empty vessel in the first one.
Yep.
He was a nothing character. It's just him walking around, just doing his best Mike Pence impression. Mother. Listen, guys, I want this movie to be good. I just want you guys to shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe we're still having this fucking argument after I don't even remember how, it feels like 1,000 years ago Justice League came out.
Yeah.
Because it feels like a goddamn superhero movie from the 90s. Mm-hmm. It's so fucking vapid. And I still don't understand how you have a major studio. They threw in, at that point, still like $300 million into it.
Yep.
And I don't know where the fuck they put it.
Catering.
Fucking some great
covering up Henry Cavill's mustache.
Some good fucking quiches.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, yeah, I guess if you double the runtime, which is funny because again, like one of their mandates in the first one is that it cannot be more than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to introduce 3 major characters and have this epic fight and resurrect your main character in less than 2 hours? Because I think it was 2 hours 1 minute, including credits.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? It doesn't make sense. Just let it be as long as it needs to be. And then now you're like, yeah, man, fuck it, 4 hours.
Yep.
Is there no middle ground?
You know what happened? Endgame happened.
Oh, a good movie?
Yeah. Well, a good movie that was 3 hours long.
But even when Justice League came out, like the average superhero movie was becoming 2.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Another half an hour of like character development from some of those characters would have helped a lot. It's just a simple scene of like, again, when Barry saves Iris, or like expanding a little bit more with Cyborg or some other characters, that would have worked. You could have done something more.
Something more with Superman other than him just standing in a field with his duck butt sticking out. I have very good posture. You sure do, Henry Cavill. Go be the Witcher.
He's a specimen.
You're significantly better in that. And it's not your own fault. Listen, you make a fine ASMR video fixing computers.
Listen, at the end when they're like talking and like bullshit and he's like quipping, that's Superman.
Yeah.
We finally got to go Superman at the end after he's been resurrected.
Oh, yeah, one of my favorite scenes in it is between him and the Flash.
I mean, just him in general, just his interactions where he's like kind of like fucking around, like while he's beating the shit out of this guy they all had trouble with.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like fucking around.
Yeah.
Again, even something simple as like as his interaction with Cyborg.
Their treatment of Wonder Woman is curious.
It's
because like Wonder Woman in the comics is pretty much on par with Superman. She's just not quite so invulnerable as him, but she's a better fighter.
Yep.
She's a better tactician. She has honestly less bullshit powers, and she's better equipped. She has better weaponry, better armor, etc., etc.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, if she had his power of just nothing can fucking hurt me, she would just wreck him. Like, he wouldn't even be a problem for her. And she's just like, she's strong in that one, but didn't seem really any stronger than like Cyborg or even Aquaman. And it's like, okay, Aquaman's supposed to be strong. I get it. The Atlantean is supposed to have advanced physiology. But at the same time, he can't be like Wonder Woman level. Like,
yeah, I think there's like one scene during the second fight where she's lasting a little bit on her own, a little bit longer than the other ones, but it's not very much. I think again, part of that's a problem of miscasting.
Yeah,
like it's hard. Again, I still struggle to see her as Wonder Woman. I struggle to see a woman who weighs 110 pounds as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The accent's whatever. I can work around that. Whatever.
Absolutely. I'm fine with the accent because she's supposed to be Greek. She's supposed to be, Mediterranean. Like, she probably would have some kind of an accent if she grew up on, in ancient Greece, essentially.
I guess, but again, the part that always got me was that she also spent much of her life learning dozens of other languages.
Yeah.
And assumably speaking those languages fluently.
Yeah.
And having a thick Mediterranean accent would hinder a lot of those languages.
I guess. But
so I think they spent a lot of time making her pronunciation and diction non-regional. And she's like the only one that has an accent.
Yep.
In the entire fucking island.
That's true.
Everybody else is fucking Americanized or like non-regional dialects.
Yep.
She's the only one fucking like thick fucking like fucking grapeseed fucking Greek accent.
Yep.
I digress. Also, again, Zack Snyder, he doesn't know how to treat women as people.
It's true.
That's why Lois Lane's just there to make Superman a person again.
Yep.
And Wonder Woman's just there to argue with Bruce, but still go with his plan.
Yep.
It's the most infuriating thing in the whole goddamn thing. She's one of the most strong-willed people there next to Batman. And she's just like, meh, you say so.
Yep.
I'm not on board with this, but I'll get on board the Batplane.
Yep.
What are you guys doing? What are y'all doing?
They're over-relying on Batman for one.
Like, the two people who want to stop it are the two strongest people there.
Yep.
If they want to stop him, they would have stopped him.
Yep.
But hey, 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's going to be great, guys. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
So
I'm excited.
This reminds me of, did you happen to watch the Wisecrack, I don't even know what it was coverage of God's Not Dead?
Yeah.
So it reminds me 100% of that, where like the whole concept of that movie is like, okay, this Christian guy goes into a philosophy class, and basically the teacher is like, oh, I'm going to make you sign this pledge to say God is dead. And the guy is like, well, I'm a Christian, I can't say that. And then like everything that the guy, the teacher does is like sort of this ridiculous bully version of what a Christian would consider a psychologist to be. I'm sorry, philosopher, sorry, to be. And it's like, it's comical. And the end of the movie is basically the Christian kid, the student in this class, basically just totally proves the teacher wrong about God being dead. And at the very end of the movie, the teacher gets hit by a car and is forced to accept Christ in his dying moments. This is what that feels like.
Yep.
This is Zack Snyder thinking that he's getting one over on everybody and he's totally right about everything, and you're just going to have to eat your words as you die on the pavement.
This is an overplayed analogy, but I'm going to do it anyways because fuck it.
Yep.
This is our show.
But fuck it.
The original release of Justice League, including the unmustaching, was around $300 million, maybe 320. Not counting marketing.
$200 million away from being nice.
And that's not counting marketing. So $300 million, which is not super far away from what they spent on Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
And then they drop another anywhere. Again, they haven't released the actual number. Anywhere between $30 million and $70 million for the Snyder-cut.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even release Firefly in the right order. Sorry, I'm still petty about this 20 years later. The wrong people get the wrong chances.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, they're desperate for a win. But I have no faith in Zack Snyder. I have no faith in this Justice League movie. Just start over, man.
Yep.
Like, you've seen, again, I'm not saying like Dick ride Marvel, but you've seen what they do.
Yep.
There's no reason why you can't make these things work in real. Watch your own goddamn cartoons.
Yeah. Yep.
Shit. That fucking the last fucking Justice League movie that came out where like fucking Constantine like saves the universe.
Yep.
Like, that shit is insane. And people are dark in there. People do some crazy shit. A lot of people fucking die.
Yep.
You can do something. You can still do a dark take on the Justice League, but not every character has to be a fucking edgelord or idiot.
Yep.
Like, you can have the Blue Boy Scout. He's just a normal version of that. Like, you can have Wonder Woman still be a badass, but not be like, just, okay, Batman, do what you want. I'm fine with Batman making jokes. I'm not one of those like people saying Batman can't make jokes. Just it has to be targeted. He's not just going to be like dropping quips for no reason.
Yeah.
And again, can you guys actually do Barry Allen? Listen, I love Wally West, but if you're going to do Wally West, call him Wally West. Don't call him Barry Allen and do that. Just like you guys keep doing saying he's Hal Jordan, but doing Kyle Rayner. Pick the right one and just do it. Aquaman I'm fine with. He is what he is. Again, he's not the Atlantean king that he is later on. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that take of Aquaman.
Well, and they're doing different versions of Aquaman who are still the same character.
Yeah.
Like, it's different versions of Arthur Curry. Yeah. It's not, a different character entirely.
Yeah. So listen, I have no problem with that. Cyborg is, well, they gave him nothing, which is also a problem Snyder has with minority characters. Mm-hmm. I digress. Please be good, or don't. I don't care. At least it's over with. I don't want to hear any more about this. So all you DC simps, after this, can you just move on? Like, you can still hate Marvel all you want. Just move on. I'm just tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing the name Snyder. I'm tired of hearing about these things. Just start over, make new movies, then make a Justice League. Or fuck it. You don't have to introduce these characters. Everybody knows who these fucking characters are. Especially after all this bullshit. Just go, guys. Just fucking go. Rewatch the series premiere of the Justice League animated series from the 90s. Good to go.
Rewatch that. Rewatch Justice League New Frontier, which was like an interesting take on the Golden Age era of those kind of heroes, where it was like a Golden Age version of all of them. There's good media out there. Hell, even Justice League War is pretty good. There's good media out there of these characters. And it just happens to be that the ones for DC, the good ones have been animated. And for Marvel, most of the good ones are live action. And there's some good Marvel ones that are animated too. I enjoyed the Ultimates when it first came out. I enjoy, the Spider-Man and X-Men animated original series, but 90s series. What was the Avengers? Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. But there are good examples. The first 2.5 seasons of Arrow, the first 2.5 seasons of Flash, the first season and a half of Supergirl, various parts of Legends of Tomorrow. There are good examples, but certainly you got to find a director whose ego isn't fucking driving the entire thing. And you definitely don't have that with Zack Snyder.
Yep. Well, I mean, like I said, and even beyond the ego, the problem is, again, you're dealing with characters that are probably the most comic booky characters of all comic book characters.
Yep.
And you can't have a guy in charge of it who hates comic books.
Nope.
Like, I'm not saying they have to read the Bible on Superman. No pun intended. But you kind of have to know what that character is. Like, again, he's had thousands of takes over the years. Everything from being the blue Boy Scout to being to Grant Morrison's take where he fucking lobotomizes a guy. Mm-hmm. Like, there's everything in between. He's been around for almost 100 years now.
To be fair, Grant Morrison is Grant Morrison.
Yeah, he is. Fucking king. But I'm saying he's done a lot of shit. He's had thousands of takes over his 83 years of existence, or however long it is. There's no reason why they can't have you can't find a take of those to do a proper one. And again, they were getting there in certain moments. I'm fine with the Superman that they had. It's the world they have around him. It's the take on the other characters and just their general interactions. Because you're trying to force a major superhero team up from nothing, and without acknowledging the fact that they all existed within the universe. So again, if you had done a thing where these characters they're already established superheroes, it would have been fine. Because again, like, people know who all these characters are. Like, Aquaman isn't new. Flash isn't new. Yep. Cyborg maybe a little bit, but he's pretty self-explanatory.
And Cyborg isn't even that new. Cyborg was around in the 60s.
But I'm saying, like, his, like, notoriety.
Yeah.
He only really started getting notoriety, like, in pop culture because of the Teen Titans show from the 2000s. Yeah. But you can have Cyborg be the catalyst for what happens in the movie. He could be the thing that, like, wakes up fucking Steven Dorff or Steppendorf or whatever, Steppenwolf, whatever his name is. the awakening of Cyborg is the reason why he comes to Earth. That could be a simple term, which I think is part of what they do in one of the movies, I think. But again, they just don't want to. You have the wrong people in charge, so please fix it. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Get a mop, bucket in the mop for coming to his TED Talk. Yeah, I agree. So that's gonna do it for us for this one podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I have been Ryan B Online. P Breeze, you have been P Breeze. Yeah. P Breezy, the disgusted boy slim. D Easy will be joining us again soon.
Allegedly.
We promise. Look forward to some interesting stuff from us in the future. D, I think, is still doing his Happy Good Mornings. I've been doing my This Won't Last calls. So check those out on YouTube. Eventually we'll get them over to Instagram TV because that seems to be where we have the most followers. So maybe we'll get more views there. Haven't been getting an awful lot of views on YouTube. Shout us out in any comments that you see. We enjoy the interaction, if we ever get any. Paul's going to come up with something for himself. Paul Talks.
We're working on. I'm working on some skits for you guys. So we'll have some content.
Yes, that's a group project. So
we'll have some content coming out pretty soon.
Don't put it off on the group. Put yourself out there. Anyways, also check out our partnership with brightswimmer.com, where they make luxury swimwear for the every person, based out of Sweden. It's wonderful. Check it out. Use the checkout code TWO25 at checkout in order to get 25% off. What else do we do? Facebook, Instagram, Linktree,
the major socials, all those places.
Podbean. Google us. Google it. All right. Do your research.
We're everywhere except Reddit.
Do your research. All right. Well, don't buy GameStop. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.